Well, it's official. Shane Waldron, you are no longer a Chicago Bear. And listen, am I happy that it happened? A little bit. But am I happy that it happened? You really don't want your offensive coordinator or even head coaches to be fired, but this case, it was very justified. What is up, guys? Welcome back to So Back Sports, and I'm so back with another video. And yes, Shane Waldron is fired from his and relieved from his offensive coordinator duties for the Chicago Bears, making him not only the second offensive coordinator that has been fired in the NFL for this 2024-25 NFL season, but also the second offensive coordinator in a calendar year that the Chicago Bears have let go. Let that sink in for a bit. Yeah, it's not looking too good. But right now, Thomas Brown, who is the passing game coordinator for Chicago Bears, will be taking over as the offensive coordinator. But before we get into the details, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to the channel. It really helps me create content like this for you guys. So please do subscribe. I'm late for this reaction. This happened early in the morning. I was busy with work, but now I'm here and I'm going to be making that reaction for you. Let's talk about it real quick. My thoughts initially were like, okay, initially yesterday, I hoped that Eberflus was gone. Like genuinely, I hoped Eberflus was packed up and left. But knowing the Chicago Bears, that never really ever happens. But the fact of the matter is, the change needed to be happen whatsoever because this team was going to go belly up already, and we have yet to play a division game. So it was kind of like forced on Ryan Poles' hand to make a decision and kind of move off of one, at least someone. And I guess they didn't want to fire Eberflus again. For some reason, he just keeps slithering away, along with Chris Morgan from the unemployment line. But Shane Waldron ended up being that guy that took the fall for the team, and rightfully so. He has not been great whatsoever. You can kind of say that during the 4-2 stint when the Chicago Bears were doing well, that you could make some argument that he had some good moments, but to come after a bye week and come out as flat and horrible as the offense has been is something that you cannot just let slide. And especially after losing 19-3 to the Patriots, something has got to give. And lo and behold, Shane Waldron has been packed up and walked away. And Thomas Brown, I'll get into more about Thomas Brown and what I think he can potentially do for us. But, you know, Shane Waldron, man, it. I remember early on in the season, or even like when we got him, I was like wanting him to be our offensive coordinator without really taking into account how bad or how Seahawks fans viewed him, because I looked past that and I looked at how he was able to unlock Geno Smith, how he was able to utilize that Seahawks offense and kind of, and he was also from the McVay tree as well. So that everything looked like on from the outside point of view that he was a great hire. And back then it was still seen as a great hire for the Chicago Bears. But clearly, this organization only hires coordinators or anyone that can, be manipulated really easily, and essentially forgets how to call a ball game, essentially. So that's obviously not a good look for the Chicago Bears, especially firing in midseason, which they pride themselves from doing, because no matter how bad the team plays, they're now going to fire anyone. So the fact that the matter is they were able to still do this, which I'm actually kind of impressed. I'm genuinely impressed from the Chicago Bears that they were able to, you know, have some dignity and cut their losses in a sense. Not all the way, but this is a step. It's always a step in the right direction with this team because you can't expect a lot from him. They did the right thing. They got rid of him. And, for the sake of Caleb's development, they're putting in Thomas Brown, which, to be fair, I have low expectations for him as well, because at this point I'm kind of exhausted from, the turnover of offensive coordinators. This guy has a great speech, has some great philosophy. Because listen, he's from the McVay tree. He was a big part of why they won the Super Bowl. When it comes to Sean McVay's perspective, he really relied heavily on Thomas Brown and his like ability to rile up the troops and be able to have the nitpick details of the offense. And being under that Super Bowl team allowed him to land a job with the Carolina Panthers, which he did not do so well because not only did the Carolina Panthers suck really bad, he didn't really have any weapons to work with alongside Bryce Young. The organization was also in dysfunction, so you have to also take that with a grain of salt. And now he has a job with the Chicago Bears as their passing game coordinator, hired by Shane Waldron to be on his staff. And it seems like he's now getting his opportunity to get back into that offensive coordinator role with Caleb Williams and a plethora of weapons to go along with it. And listen, at this point, the offense has gone rock bottom, way below rock bottom. So it can only go up from here. But he is dealt with a big task ahead. And this Sunday, playing against Green Bay is not going to be easy whatsoever. It's probably going to be a big loss, that's for sure. But I do want to see some stuff when it comes to, putting a game plan together, being able to utilize the weapons like Cole Kmet and DJ Moore. Will we see that? My guess is maybe. It's all up in the air. It's better chance now than it was back then. But you have to also take into account that Eberflus is down your neck and will force that agenda or the philosophy of no turnovers. And that's, I think, what's been the issue with Shane Waldron, because he has been kind of aiding to what Eberflus has been saying. Because, as a defensive minded head coach, you do not like turnovers from your quarterback, but that does stunt your development in general. And let's take a, for example, Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn in his like tenure has been a defensive minded coach, right? And you would say, "Oh, but you said that defensive minded head coaches don't work." Right, I agree. But the difference in their scenario and the Commanders versus the Chicago Bears is that we have a defensive minded head coach that has a hand in the offense. I'd assume, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, that Dan Quinn is not focused on the offense. He's truly focused on the team and or like the team coaching and their defense as well. While Cliff Kingsbury takes care of the play calling for Jaden Daniels. That's a recipe that will help develop your quarterback because, you know, having that voice in your mind for a Caleb saying like you cannot turn over the ball, you cannot turn over the ball, you cannot turn over the ball is going to constantly make him overthink. We saw that last year with Justin Fields as well, where he even mentioned to the staff saying that coaching matters, like in this sense. And we see it like bear its fruit right now with Caleb Williams because there is a common denominator in both of these scenarios, and that is Matt Eberflus. And if he has a hand in this offense, it's only going to be a disaster with Thomas Brown as well. Nothing's going to save it. And the fact of the matter is, if you want any sort of success, which I'm at that point right now where I'm just like, whatever happens, happens at this point. Like, I can't, be bought in anymore because I've been let down time after time after being put up to the highest of heights and then immediately getting no return in that. But if there's some level of, dignity with this organization, they take this seriously. It is make it so that Caleb can develop at least in the season. And then after the season, just get rid of Flus. That's the only way you can save your job, Ryan Poles. Because if you bring back Flus, you might as well have just wasted the number 1 and number 9 overall pick. And that trade that you got before with the Panther that you fleeced would be going down the drain as one of the worst. Essentially, both sides did not gain anything. Essentially, like the Panthers essentially had the equal trade relatively. Because if you're not going to take advantage of this, Caleb is going to get ruined. He's going to go down as another quarterback the Chicago Bears have ruined, and that's what you got on your hands, and it's not going to help your case for keeping your job too. So my final takeaways is this offense is in flux right now. You have veteran receivers and skill position players that are asking apparently for Tyson Bagent. to be the quarterback and give Caleb a break. Like, no, 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 no. That's not gonna fly. Like, if that happens, or if that had happened, and that was a change that was made, this is that would take this unserious organization to new heights. But thankfully, they didn't do that. I just think that they have an opportunity to utilize DJ Moore and Cole Kmet because listen, you paid two great skill position players in DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. Utilize them. And you clearly see the more you utilize them, the more success you're going to get and the more wins you get. Like you saw that last year with DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. You saw that in when you were 4-2 when you faced the Panthers and the Jaguars. How good both of them made this team. And scheming Caleb to be able to get the easy chunk plays or the quick slants or like anything to get him in a rhythm of getting a pass complete. Because right now his confidence is at all time low. And in order to get that confidence back, you have to make the game come to him. And then makes life easier. And then he will start to, understand the game and teaching him to throw away the ball. If he doesn't see his reads, if it's great that he's going through his progressions, but if he doesn't see the field immediately and he takes the sack, then it's not worth it. So that's one thing that Thomas Brown has to like drill into this offense right before the Green Bay Packers game. Do I think that's going to happen or we're going to see results immediately? No, I don't think so. But at least we're going to probably see some semblance of an offense. That's at least my hope, at least some semblance. But, that's about it. I mean, Waldron is gone. A new era has come when it comes to offensive coordinator. Thomas Brown, please just do something at this point. Flus, get your hands off of this offense. Please don't ruin Caleb. And it might happen. It might ruin Caleb and it might be over. But that's about it for today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe again. It really means a lot to the channel. It really helps with the algorithm. And, as a Bears fan, you know, the ride is insane as usual. And it, maybe never ends. But so please, if you want to stick around for it and, help me out, please do subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.